after we have sewn the side seams and the sleeve seams, now we are ready to iron in the vent. Only for those that's decided to do the vent, this step is for you. And here we go. So we have sewn until where the vent start, and then from this point downwards is where the vent is. So this is the inside of the shirt. We will iron the vent that way. So that's how flat the shirt or the vent is, but we will iron them upwards like that. So you grab your iron, and we're just going to iron that 1 centimeter flat. Easy, like that. We do the same on the other side. And just a little bit over. This is where the vent starts, but we're going to iron them about 3 centimeters above that, just to keep that seam line flat. Once we are done with that, we will go over to the next side and prepare the other side as well, the same way, so that we don't have to come back to this again. Yeah, let's focus. There we go. Focus the camera. We iron up 1 centimeter. There we go. So now we have ironed the vents. We are ready to actually just do like a little box stitch here, and that stitch is going to be from the start of the vent, which is there, right to the end of the vent. Yeah, we're going to do them both sides. Let's head over to the sewing machine. Alright, we will sew this vent 5 millimeters. I did say 3, but I think we'll basically sew it 5 millimeters. Yeah, so the seam is 1 centimeter, but we will sew in 5 millimeter, which will be in the middle. Yeah, so here we go. From the edge of the vent, lower our needle, do a back tack, and then we sew all the way up. Zoom in for you guys real quick. There we go. All the way up to where the vent starts. Now we will leave the needle there, and then we will lift up our foot, and then we pivot the fabric like that. So the needle is still in the fabric, and we are pivoting the fabric so that we can continue the stitch down the other side of the vent. Yeah, lower our foot, and then we sew across. There we go. Once we're there, now we're going to pivot again so that we can sew downwards. Yeah, there we go, and we continue the stitch now. All the way to the bottom. We will back tack 1 to 2, 1 to 3, and there we go. Let's zoom out a little bit, and we flip it around so I can show you guys what's happening. And there we go, everybody. The vent is completed. Now I'll zoom in. There's my little box from the start of the vent right down to the end of the vents on both sides, yeah? And that's what I want you guys to do. Alright, so we will repeat the step on the other side of the vent and then have it ready to do the hemline in the next video. So after we have done the vent, yeah, we will now focus on the center front area, yeah. And I already went ahead and ironed it, but I'll talk you guys through the process. So you will take your center front. It will be flat like that, of course. And remember where we've added our fusing on that strip, we have those nips as well, yeah, that cut lines that we've done from the basic pattern. So those nips are actually fold lines, yeah, where you need to fold. So you will go on to the iron, and the first nip that it will have will be about 5 millimeters wide. So that nip, you fold in 5 millimeter like that, and then you iron them flat from the start all the way to the end, or at least from one point to the other point. Once that's done, we will then measure 3 centimeters from this edge. We measured 3 centimeters in, and then we fold them over again. And keep in mind, guys, that this is happening on the inside of the shirt, yeah? We are folding the button stand to the inside of the shirt. 5 millimeter, iron down, measure 3 centimeters from this edge inward, iron them over again, flat, and that's how it will look. Everything prepared and ready to sew. And then we will do the same step on the other button stand. So that's one side, and then we will go to the other side and do exactly the same. Here we go. If I open it up, there's my fusing, and then I've ironed 5 millimeter in, measure 3 centimeters from the edge inward, iron them down, and that's how it will be, yeah? And if I fold my shirt properly, you guys will see that both of the button stands is ready, prepared. Alrighty, there we go. So now the next step for us is just to do a top stitch on the button stand from one point to the other point, and then another top stitch on the other side from one point to the other point. That's what we will do in the next one. So we're going to be sewing these button stand now, giving them a top stitch. So we're going to do the top stitch again from the inside. So we will take the right side, flipping the garment over so that we can sew from the inside. Yeah, you see there's my vent, there's my button stand. So it's easier for us to follow this edge over here. Yeah, here's an edge here. So we're going to place our foot of the machine on top of the button stand, following this edge of the foot. Let me zoom in real quick. There we go. So the edge of the foot needs to be on the edge of this edge here. You see over here? That is our button stand. Let me zoom out real quick again. Lower our needle into the fabric. Do a back tack. 1 2 3, 1 2 3. And now all that we got to do is just focus on the edge of the foot, edge of the fabric. And then we will repeat the same step for the other side of the other button stand, yeah? Keeping the fabric flat. back tack. 1 to 3, 1 to 3. And there we go. There's our stitch line, and flipping it around, this is our outside, yeah? So we will repeat the same step on the other side. Cool.